What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Matt DSR, and today I am back at Branson's Yamaha side again because I said I would. Today I'm taking out the Yamaha MT09-SP for 2024. You may have seen my recent video drop of the standard MT09 just a couple of bikes back behind the GP over there. There will be a card for that bike at the end of this video, but today this is the one we're looking at. Now, because the MT09 and the SP share a lot of similarities, if you want to know about the base information of this bike, go and watch that video after. Today's video I'm going to try and hit on the differences for the SP that make it worth potentially the extra money over the standard MT09. We will discuss at the end of the video if I do think it is worth spending the extra or whether I don't. Enough standing around. It looks like a glorious day. So let's go on and ride. First thing you're going to know, this is keyless entry. So we're going to push it down once. It's going to wake it up. Turn it to the right. And there we go. When I say wake up, I mean it's going to unlock the capability of turning it to the right. My mama didn't raise no pansy. We're straight in the sport mode. We'll let the bike warm up. Now let me start off by saying, end of the day, whether I think this bike is worth the extra money or not, it means nothing. It's purely down to you and your personal circumstances, i.e. cash flow. Because we could all like the biggest and the best bike, and the most expensive, but doesn't mean we can all afford it. You decide whether the extra cash dollar is worth it. So let's get the cost out of the way. For the 2024 MT09-SP, this thing's going to set you back £11,806. I don't know why they do the £6, but hey ho. That is a little bit more expensive than, I think it's like 10,100 for the standard 09. When I say the standard, for 24 Yamaha, I've got the standard gearbox MT09, which is 10,100, and I'm pretty sure they've got their new YAMT, so the automatic manual transmission, which I think is like another £500–600. That's like 10,600. So yeah, this bike is about 1,700 more over the base manual MT09. But nowadays, who really pays for bikes in cash outright? Not many people. It's the real world. I'm not going to talk about HP, talk about PCP only. For this bike, I think the deposit is about £3,000, just shy, and it's like £133. For the MT09, deposit is about £2.5 grand, and the monthly is £111. So the reality is, this bike is £22 more a month with a £500 extra deposit than your standard MT09. Now that £1,700 is kind of looking a little bit better, isn't it? In a nutshell, the differences between this and the MT09 are going to be cosmetics, suspension and brakes. Those there are the biggest differences. I do believe it's illegal to reverse onto a main road. Anyway, hey ho. Could have reversed around and turned around up there. So yeah, cosmetic, suspension, brakes. Once I've had a little play, we'll pull over and we will have a look at what we do get on the SP. I will be giving you my thoughts and feelings on how the bike handles whilst we're on the area. So for reference, I am 6'1", 115 kilos, almost winter. Well, that'll change. So I'm a big lad, height and size. Around town. Sorry, I got my 360 down there and I keep panicking. It's going to fall off. So when I hear a bang, I feel like it's gone. Anyway, around town, this thing feels light and nimble. It's got a great steering lock on it, so it's easy to flick around in between traffic or people or construction, roadworks, whatever it may be. Neutral is easy to find. And we do have the Gen 3 quick shifter in this, which means you can shift up and down like normal, but also it means when you're accelerating you can shift down, and then when you're decelerating, as in you're off the throttle, you can also shift up. Now I mentioned this to Zoe. Hey, you, come back here. Sorry, distracted by the GoPro doing a disappearing act. I mentioned to Zoe that had this new quick shifter on it, and she asked me why I thought it had it or where that could be useful. And one of the examples I gave was when you're in the twisties and you're kind of going through a nice flowing section, and let's say you're in 4th or 5th because it's quite fast, and something happens, someone pulls out, or there's a corner that's tighter than you thought. You slowed down, let's just say the car's pulled out, you slow down quickly, you forgot to change down the gear, you then go to accelerate away, and you're in 5th at 20 miles an hour, and the bike is really sluggish and it's just struggling to get anywhere. That is a perfect example of when I'm on the throttle, but I need to go from 5th down to, let's say, 2nd, so I can get some momentum, get some movement, and get some speed going again. So that is a possibility of time where you may want to have a quick shifter that has that capability. Whether you use it very often like that or not, again, that's up to you and kind of how you ride. Me personally, I probably wouldn't, but it's one of those things where if you need to, it's there and you've got it. Looking at the cosmetic side then of the SP, we get one colour, that is it, and it's that kind of R1 deprived, R1M, brushed aluminium, black, blue pinstripe. Me personally, I think it looks bloody delightful and much better than any of the base colours on the standard MT09. Now, everything I'm going to say today, I'm going to put into perspective. Back in 2017, I bought a brand new MT10, and obviously there was the SP at the time. I personally chose that the extra price, the colour, the electronics, and the colour screen, and the better brakes, for me, I didn't need it, I wouldn't warrant it, and I didn't want to spend the extra money. You know, the screen is what it is. Suspension, you can get them set up, make them better, as in the stock one. Brakes, you can easily spend a little bit of money and improve it. So I personally did not go for the SP MT10 back in the day. And that's what I'm saying by it's down to you, kind of what you value out of a bike. But bearing in mind, back then, the standard MT10 was £10,700, and the standard 09 is 10,100. So as you can tell, inflation has taken over. It's a shame my wage hasn't inflated with it. Anyway, got distracted, MT10 chat out of the way, back to the SP MT09. I'm not too sure if Branson's MT09, if they added the extra little screen that was on the front, in front of the TFT, but this one doesn't have it. Me personally, I think it looks better without it. It's so small, it doesn't do any wind deflection, it's just more of a cosmetic looks part, and I prefer the look of this without it. Hopefully, if I remember, I'll film a little bit of the MT09 with that screen so you can see the difference between this and the one with it. Winter's starting to set in. Got my winter coat on. It's like 11 degrees, 12 degrees. Chilly. It's alright, it's going back up to 20 degrees next week. Around town, easy, like I said, clutch control, nice and progressive, nice and easy. There's no snatchiness. The throttle, even in sport mode, once the engine is warmed up, the throttle isn't too bad. There's a little bit of jerkiness, but again, you can just put it into rain mode. Let's have a little fun on these back roads. As long as we can get past the learner. The quick shifter is awesome, the throttle is responsive. This thing shifts, the front gets very light, very lofty. Back there is a straight road, but the front end just kept wanting to come up. Obviously you can change the lift control. I think they've got 1 to 3 to play around with, so if you wanted less lift you can then obviously up it. I reckon 3 is probably going to be the maximum dampening on the lift side. Me personally, I like it, it's a little bit fun. Even without an exhaust, this thing sounds mean, it sounds nasty. Whether it's the exhaust or whether these little exits for the channel of the engine, the roar suction to come through. It doesn't matter, it sounds good. That's what I like about this bike. I can put it into rain mode if I want, using the mode button on the right hand side, and I could chill out. 117 brake, 93 newton-meters of torque. It's easy to ride. Now you can still feel the power there, but it's nice and gentle on the throttle. You then put it into sport mode or into one of your custom modes, and this thing just livens up. Flickability is just spot on. I believe we've got the new Bridgestone Battle Axe S23M, I want to say. And yeah, handles just superb. What I like with this TFT as well is not only do you have turn-by-turn navigation, but you've also got map connectivity, so you can connect your phone. You do need to go through a few different apps. I think you need the Yamaha My Ride app along with the Garmin Street Cross. The Garmin Street Cross is what you do your maps from, but you have to connect your bike via the Yamaha My Ride app. You don't connect it by standard Bluetooth. And yeah, once it's connected, it doesn't take over the whole screen. It's probably like a 2-inch or so kind of center right, but it's big enough that you can see where you're going with the map connectivity, which I love. It means you don't have to have your phone on your handlebar. It looks like it's just been raining here, so got to adjust inside. Oh, let's drop all this kit off and have a walk around. That is the bike beeping, so I stepped away from it. So in case your steering lock, we're going to turn it once to the left. That's going to turn the screen off. From there, left hand on the handlebar, push it in, twist it around, give it a little movement in the handlebar just to kind of let it seat in, and there you go. The dial is facing the lock, steering lock is on, and you can walk away. Now another cool thing, because this is keyless, if you're, let's say, a bike meet and you're going to be stood near the bike but not with the bike, and you don't want anyone to start the bike up because it's picked up the signal, hopefully you can see it, there's a little dot top left hand corner. You push the on off button for a couple of seconds and that dot will blink, and the key fob is now deactivated. So come over and it does nothing. Nothing works. To turn it back on, because you've finished your meet, push and hold again, you get a quick flash, and there you go. The key is now reactivated. So that also could be handy if your garage is near the house, so you could deactivate the keys once you go inside, so someone can't then boost the signal to the bike. And here we are then, looking at the SP. What do you think about the one colour option for the SP? Which they've done it since they've started, so everyone's kind of used to it. But do you think, being the premium kind of tier of that MT09, MT10, whatever it may be, that they actually up the colour scheme to add in a couple of different options, or do you think they should just say what it is? Keep this, I think, a lovely looking colour scheme. And personally, again, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go for something else. I'd stick for this. But let me know, what do you think? Got the lovely kind of brushed aluminium tank, the blue pinstripes cutting around, and as we come back to the swing arm, we've then got a brushed aluminium swing arm as well. The swing arm, I believe, is slightly shorter than the MT09, so that means that turn is going to be a little bit better. It's going to be a little bit more front end over the standard 09, but it's not a deal breaker. I mean, it makes this bike even a little bit more funner. We also have this new kind of front styling for the lights, where you've got your daytime running lights running on the side, and then our dipped and full beam kind of tucked in there. So that's the cosmetics out of the way. Now let's look at the suspension. Like I said, there's a few areas that's different between the SP and the standard, suspension being one of them. We've got KYB forks at the front, and they are adjustable. They've also kept the gold theme, so it goes nicely with the rear shocks as well. But a nice gold colour into them. All adjustments can be done at the top. And then we come to the rear suspension. That is then where we've got the gold goodness of the Öhlins. Adjustable on the right hand side, and then this is over on the left hand side. And also right at the bottom of the suspension, there is more adjustments down there. And that brings us nicely onto the Brembo Stylema calipers, and the braking on this is fantastic. I do think the standard MT09 have really good brakes, but adding Brembos, it's just going to increase the capability of the braking just a little bit more. And especially if you were looking at taking this thing on track. Nice. Pure bed hair / helmet hair. Time for a haircut. Ah, it's a little bit better. Looking at the electronics then, this thing comes with, I think it's your standard 5 rider modes, so rain, street, sport, and then custom 1, custom 2. The SP adds on, I think, 4 extra track customizable settings, so you can save them. So if you are going on track days and you do different tracks around the UK and you frequent 4 of them more than any, you could just add all your settings and then have track 1 as a certain location, track 2 as a second custom setting, and so on. Track 1 as a certain location, you know what I mean. We'll get there. Also, with these extra track rider modes, Yamaha have added another theme to the TFT screen, so it's a lap timer screen as well. Being 6'1", with a seat height of 825mm, I've got both feet flat on the floor and a nice bend in the legs as well, and the knees. And like I say, it's a very comfortable riding position. Although the biggest revisions really for the MT09 and the SP was from 23 to 24. That is where they made the riding position a little bit more aggressive, rather than kind of that little bit more upright. They've increased the triangle forward a little bit, so now it still feels comfortable, but it's just a tad more aggressive over the 2023. If you've never ridden either bike, you ain't gonna notice it. You're gonna think it's still a comfortable, naked bike. So now you think about all those extras you've actually got in comparison to the price difference, and like I said, it's £500 and then £22 a month. If you keep this for only a 2 or 3 year cycle, I think the depreciation of the cost of any bike that you buy will be greater than the difference that you're going to pay from the MT09 to the SP. The SP will probably hold more money over the standard because, let's face it, it's that little bit more premium. It's got actually Öhlins, it's got Brembos. I don't care what you say, it looks better in this colour. In a nutshell, would I buy this or the MT09? I'm going this. I think the MT09 is a fantastic bike. And if you don't think you're going to want the extra bits and the extra flashy bits, you aren't going to be disappointed whatsoever. So don't worry about this. Buy the MT09 and enjoy it. Even if you get a second-hand MT09, they've always been fantastic bikes. I'm just waiting for the camera to fall over, which would not be a good day in the office. A little bit windy out today. So yeah, if you don't want it or you can't afford it, you're not going to be disappointed with MT09, fact. But if you can stretch to another £22 a month, do an extra couple of shifts, I would go for this. No questions, no doubts in my mind. In fact, I think if I was to sell the GSA and I wanted a Sunday bike that I could do the odd tour once or twice a year, doesn't have to be in Europe, just around the UK, this would probably be the bike I'd pick. It's fun, it looks good, but more importantly, it's reliable. It's got Yamaha reliability thrown into this. Some of the other manufacturers out there are either not reliable or they're kind of mid-range, not the top tier, naked bikes. Just don't do it for me. Ah! I was not quick enough. It's okay. You're safe. Luckily, I've got the cage that come with the DJI Osmo Action 4, so we're still good. Oh, I was coming to save you, and then you let me down. Anyway, let me know in the comments box below. Are you picking the standard 09? Or are you going for the SP? I'm going to get kitted back up, go out and continue enjoying this bike. Because let's face it, it's a bloody fun bike. Don't care what you say. It's just so refined, The shifter works really nicely. It just, as a complete package, it's awesome. If you can't tell, I like this bike. Remember, if you want to jump on an MT09 or an SP, head over to Branston's in Yeovil, speak to Ryan, and jump out on one of their bikes. You can mention me if you want. Like I said, I get no commission. It's just nice when they say to me that someone's been there because I've done a review and they liked it. So if you have enjoyed it, obviously give it a like. More importantly, subscribe to the channel. Helps us keep growing. And I'm doing giveaways every single month as well. So nothing else to say. But until the next one, ride safe.